you have $30,000 in a retirement account. You have $25 in an emergency fund. Your current home value is about $80,000. That's all we're talking about here, but you owe $95,000 on it.
Right.
Even, right, if you take all of that into consideration, at the age of 40s, in your 40s, you have a negative net worth of $60,000.
Ouch.
Are you ashamed at what's happened to you and your family?
Yeah. Very.
Hi, Susie. My name is Detlef. I am 40 years old.
And I'm Teresa. I'm 43. How do we recover after a job loss? And we've gone through our savings and all our 401k, and we're living in a house that's just falling apart around us. I met Detlef on complete accident. He was living in the Netherlands, and I was here in America.
A couple years later, I proposed to her. Of course, she said yes.
So in 2012, everything was going very well for us financially. Unfortunately, that May, my husband's job was eliminated. The couple months that we thought was going to take for him to find an equal job has now been almost 3 years.
We play all day music.
I worry about utilities going off all the time, going to sleep at night, and waking up every morning a sick feeling in your stomach because you just don't know how it's going to work.
We had such a drop in income. We ended up basically taking up a retirement, a 401k.
Being well into our 40s, we're a little worried about what the future holds.
David, here's yours. I don't like to upset or disappoint my family. I know that's not really a good thing, but we want to give them more. We want to be able to do stuff with them, and we can't until we don't have any money. We've bought things that we probably shouldn't have. We did end up buying rings and putting it on an in-store credit card. So that's what we're paying on now on top of everything else.
We received a letter from the bank's attorney that they were taking over the house. In a complete panic, Detlef and I picked the kids up and moved out of our house into an apartment. We've moved back into the house, and we now have a lawyer who's working with the bank. It's still in foreclosure.
This is our kitchen window, and you can see, it doesn't really fit. It just kind of comes in and out. This is big enough to put your finger in there. So just imagine the wind and the rain that comes in. Susie, I need some help. I have holes in my basement, and you can actually see me where I am right now from my basement. Can you help us with this?
Whoa, Teresa and Detlef, what in the world possessed you to move back into that?
Well, we thought that if our lawyer could get the principal down, then we could pay to fix it up. And we were kind of worried about our credit and how that would affect us getting an apartment, a better apartment.
You just decided you wanted to move back into a house that was in foreclosure that already had ruined your credit. It wasn't going to save your credit to move back in. Both of you have credit scores that are down the tubes. They've been ruined because you weren't paying on that house that you owned. And you just made a move because you thought that you should.
And also to possibly save some money, because it would be cheaper to live there for now than paying the monthly rent in the apartment.
Really?
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
When you have to spend $30,000 for a new foundation, you need a new furnace. Winter is coming here. In fact, it's really already here. It's going to be freezing in there. You have to spend $10,000 for new windows, and that would be less expensive because you wouldn't be paying a monthly mortgage because you were in foreclosure than the $750 a month you were paying in rent now? Really?
Yeah, I was worried that if we let the house go into foreclosure, we would just never recover from it. So we thought if we could get it out, then maybe we could get our credit built back up.
When you went through the paperwork to come on the Suze Orman Show, were you shocked to see that even in the situation you're in right now, you spend about $500 to $600 more a month than you actually bring home?
I was really shocked to see that, yeah.
Yeah, because you thought that you were doing everything right and at least you were bringing home enough money to pay your bills.
Right.
Here you are, you're 42 and 40. You have $30,000 in a retirement account. You have $25 in an emergency fund. Your current home value is about $80,000. That's all we're talking about here, but you owe $95,000 on it.
Right.
Even, right, if you take all of that into consideration, at the age of 40s, in your 40s, you have a negative net worth of $60,000.
Ouch.
$60,000. Now, I get that things happened. I get that a few years ago you lose a job, you don't know what to do, you take money out of retirement, you use everything. But at the same time, you made one bad decision after another. Like there's this one decision that you have no money, you have $3,000 in credit card debts, you've got student loans of $31,000. You've got all of this stuff. You have vehicle loans, you have medical debt, you have other loans that you owe your parents of $32,000. And yet, for some reason, just a little bit ago, you decided to both go out and get new wedding rings to the tune of almost $3,000. Can I just see the wedding rings? Can you hold up your hand so I can see them? Well, there's one, two. How do you feel every time you look at those knowing that your credit card debt is because of these rings and you did it at a time when you had absolutely no money whatsoever? Why in the world did you do that?
It was an impulse buy, but I really don't even enjoy the ring at all, just knowing what it's costing me a month.
And Detlef, were you part of the impulse buy?
Yes, I was.
Because every single move that you have made is made from an impulse. What makes you have that impulse, Teresa?
I think it's fear. I don't know about the rings, but I do know moving all around, I'm just scared of wherever I'm at.
All right,
Someone's gonna
great. So I
our
like that
home and-
answer. Hold that for a second for me. Detlef, where does your impulse come from?
A lot of times, if we talk about something and then, hey, that sounds like a good idea, then instead of like really sitting down, figure out the pros and the cons, we just kind of jump on it and move forward.
So then listen to me closely here.
Okay.
Fear, shame, and anger are the three internal emotions that are the main obstacle to wealth.
Right.
Now, Teresa, there I got a nod from you. Are you ashamed at what's happened to you and your family?
Very.
Tell me about it.
Sorry. I just never wanted to be in this place at this age and trying to finish raising my children. And I look around and, people seem to have it better than we do. And I think we just try to keep up with making our parents better than what it is.
So the shame there is also what caused you to do certain things that now is creating the situation. And anger, the anger that you have at yourselves for really just being so stupid and doing things that you knew were better than that. You knew it. You're smart people. So Detlef and Teresa, do you understand how those three emotions have been ruling you to make the worst decisions of your life?
Yeah.
I'm starting to see that.
Yeah.
Part of what you say in your question to me is, should you move? We're going to take a break, but when we come back, I want you to think about why you really want to move truthfully. And then I'm going to tell you what I really think the two of you need to do to change your entire situation around. Before the break, Teresa and Detlef, I asked you, why is it that once again you are now thinking of making another move? And this move is possibly from Illinois, where your parents, your family happen to live, Teresa, and you think that maybe, one of your questions to me, it would be better for you to move somewhere else. I want you both to be really honest with me right now. Why is it that you really want to move away from your family? Teresa.
Well, I really don't want to be away from my family, but I think maybe the shame part of it might leave.
I love you, I love you, I love you, because now we have hope. If you had made up some response like, because it would be cheaper to do da-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, but the reason you want to move away from your family, in my opinion, is you owe them $32,000 between what we owe you and I think Detlef's family as well.
Yeah.
And every time you see them, you feel total shame. And if you didn't have to see them, then you wouldn't feel the shame. So the easiest thing to do would be to move away, but it would not be the respectable thing.
Right,
Because
I
you
agree.
still owe them that money no matter what. Before I give you what I want you to do, looking into the camera, knowing that your family is going to be watching this because you're going to tell them to watch this. Hopefully you're going to go over to their home and watch it with them.
Right.
What is it that you would want to say to them to help you get rid of this shame? Teresa, I'm going to start with you again.
I would like to say to my family that I'm sorry. I feel like I'm a burden, and I really, really want to do better and make you guys proud of me.
And Detlef, what would you say?
That I'm sorry for, being a burden like that, and I feel sometimes, I should be more of a man, being able to take care of things myself, and when I need their help and then I can't pay him back, I just kind of like the same thing. I just want to turn away and not have to look at them and feel inferior because of the things that I've asked him for, and now I'm not able to pay him back.
All right, so I'm going to tell you what I really need you to do, and I hope that you follow this totally. I want you to move out of your house and back into your apartment. Staying in this house makes absolutely no sense on any level. It never will, it never has, and it's over. You cannot afford to fix it up. You have got to move. The bank is not going to work with you. I don't care what the lawyer says. They're not going to reduce it and give you all this extra money to fix it up. It ain't gonna happen, people. You cannot afford the $300 to $400 a month to pay this lawyer. You do not have that kind of money. Next, you have 3 cars. You cannot afford 3 cars. I want you to sell the Cadillac. I need you to reduce your expenses, and the Cadillac will bring in about $1,300. That's $1,300 more than you have right now. Next, your rings. Teresa, you said you hated looking at those rings. They do not represent anything other than a lie. Those rings were purchased as a lie, and every time you see them, it's going to bring you back to the fear, shame, and anger that you were in, the impulse that you used to buy something that was just absolutely ridiculous. I want you to take those rings back to Kay Jewelers. Maybe, hopefully, they will just take them back and call it even. And last but not least, Teresa, I know that you are going to school, that you will graduate in 2015, but I don't have the time right now for you to not be working. You only make $8,000 a year. We have got to get you to make more money. And if that means postponing school for a year, postpone it for a year, postpone it for 2 years. I don't care. But I need you to bring in money right now. More than $8,000 a year. And Detlef, when your raise comes through and your bonus comes through, then maybe we can talk about Teresa going back to school, but not now. Those are the things that I need you to do when you leave tonight. Are you willing to do those things?
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
If you can do that, you guys, and be honest with everybody, your financial lives can turn around and you will be proud of who you are.